First at 5 o'clock, after two rulings late last week, the Trump administration said today it will fund SNAP benefits in November.
However, they will be half the normal payments and likely be delayed. Court documents show United States Department of Agriculture officials told a federal judge it could take from a few weeks up to several months to use emergency funds to pay for the reduced SNAP benefits. The government says an emergency fund it will use has $4.65 billion. Enough to cover about half the normal benefits.
And exhausting that fund potentially sets the stage for a similar situation in December if the shutdown isn't resolved by then.
13 Food for Families is sponsored by Independent Bank.
And there is still a lot of uncertainty over SNAP benefits, so Feeding America West Michigan is organizing an emergency food drive.
Their 10 Your Side's political reporter Josh Albertus is live outside their facility in Kentwood and talked with lawmakers who were there. Josh, what can you tell us?
Yeah, we got that update from the federal government just as it came down around noon today. Essentially, as you said, they are going to be using contingency funding, but they are not going to be pulling money from another area to fund the rest. That obviously leaves some questions up in the air as these folks here are trying to give people who need it a little bit of security. It's efforts like these, distributing much-needed food resources across the region, that Feeding America West Michigan is typically known for.
Behind us right here, we have some of our elected officials and other volunteers actually helping to sort food.
And now the organization putting on an emergency food drive amid major uncertainty for those on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. The USDA directing pauses on November SNAP benefits late last month as the federal government shutdown continued.
Where we're actually encouraging folks to come and drop off their non-perishable food here at the food bank and or at their local food pantry.
The effort coming days after a federal judge had ordered the government to use at minimum billions in contingency funding to keep the program partially going. State lawmakers in Michigan had also begun to act, including with $4.5 million to the Food Bank Council of Michigan.
What's happened in Washington has really helped to, I think, bring in some empathy into all of our hearts and our community's hearts to say what is it that we can be doing to help one another.
The state Senate also passing $71 million in aid, an effort the Republican House Speaker, however, dismissed as political.
So far, I would be in support of it, but we'll have to see how the final stages of the agreement is made.
Up against a noon deadline on Monday to give an update on how they would fund it, the federal government responding in court documents that it would partially fund the program with contingency dollars, but would not pull money from elsewhere to fund the rest of the program's cost.
And that funding is great, but it's not going to fund a month. It's going to be a partial funding, and it's going to take us a little bit of time to actually have that funding materialize as money on family's EBT card.
13 on Your Side reached out to the state's Department of Health and Human Services, which would handle the money once it's passed down from the federal level. Responding to questions of potential timeline and amounts on EBT cards, a spokesperson saying Monday afternoon they were waiting on details from the U.S. Department of Agriculture Food and Nutrition Service. And we were told that people looking to participate in this emergency drop-off can drop off some of those non-perishable items here at Feeding America's site on Schaefer Avenue, just off of 28th Street in Wyoming. They can also find a list of most desired non-perishable items, as well as instructions on their website, feedwm.org. Live in Kentwood, Josh Albertus, 13 on Your Side.
And 13 Your Side is partnered with Independent Bank, Heart of West Michigan United Way, Feeding America, Kids Food Basket, and the Salvation Army to feed our neighbors.
Each organization has developed its own plan to alleviate some of the uncertainty right now.
For more information, visit 13yourside.com or text the word food to 616-559-1310.